Are you looking for a high school literature class that is engaging to your kids, challenging, but doesn't bury them alive in a lot of busy work? Then you guys should definitely check out Redefining School. Today I'm going to give you all the deets that you need to know about Redefining School's high school classes. My boys actually took the C.S. Lewis class this past year and are going to be taking the American Lit class this upcoming year. And I want to share with you everything you need to know about what it includes, what makes it different, and why I think it is such a great thing for you and your family. So let's get started. The first thing you need to know is the format of the class. These high school classes, the C.S. Lewis and the American Lit class, are divided into 4 8-week segments. Each of those 8 weeks, you are going to be using a different anchor text that you are going to be utilizing to dig into and to dive in deep in understanding. We'll talk more about that here in a second, but the way this is going to look is by having readings that they have to do each and every single week. They are going to have a time that they write down a reflection on what they have read, have questions that they need to answer, and vocabulary words that they're going to look up the definition for to help build that vocabulary. Then at the end of that 8 weeks, they have a project that they will be working on the whole time and then will present or submit at the end of the 8-week period. They also have a 60-minute live class every single week. Now, while they say the live class is optional, I will tell you right here, right now, if you are skipping the live class, you are missing out on a lot of great information. This is the time that the kids and teacher is discussing and really digging deep into the different books and readings that they are learning. This is also the time when they're introducing the different topics for the projects that they're working on. These live classes are recorded, so if your child has to miss it for some reason, they can go back and rewatch the recordings, which I do love that flexibility piece. But being there live is a totally different experience. Being able to ask your questions, to have the chat box option for the kids to interact with one another has been really amazing. So I would highly prioritize making sure your child is in that live class as much as possible. So what kind of projects are they working on? Well, each of the 8 weeks is a little bit different, but some of the ones that they had from the C.S. Lewis study this past year was writing a research paper. They had to do a persuasive essay. They also did a group project, which I thought was really good and taught them a lot of important skills when it comes to working together, presenting, practicing presentation, and more. And they also worked on a literary analysis. So all 4 of these projects actually correlate with the 4 anchor texts that they are studying in the year. And so there's tie-ins to each of those things. So for instance, they started out with the screw tape letters and they were learning about persuasive essays because that whole book is about persuading the patient that they're talking about in the book. So I love the fact that it tied into each of the different things. It exposed them to different kinds of writing and different kinds of reading, as well as the discussion points. And like I said, the other homework they have involved. Now for these projects that your child will submit during this year, Miss Mindy will actually give them feedback on that. She will also give you a grading rubrics so that you can grade your child's work well. But I love the fact that it gave them that opportunity to have an outside voice, give them input on their papers. After they submitted their papers, my boys would correct them based on her feedback and resubmit them to me. And then I would use her grading rubrics to give them a final grade. If grading scares you and you would like help with grading, Ms. Mindy does offer an additional upgrade option that you can purchase where she will take care of the grading process for you at an additional cost. So both options are available depending on your family's budgets and needs. You might be wondering, how many credits is this class? So this class, when done in its entirety, is designed to be a 1-credit class. Like I said, your child will read through those 4 anchor texts. They'll have those 4 projects, but Miss Mindy does also provide additional resources for additional books that you can read for extra literature. She encourages you to read more, and you can pick from your own books that you want, or you can pick from her selected list of standout readers for high school age. For the C.S. Lewis class that she will also be offering next year, they went through the Screw Tape Letters, Mere Christianity, The Great Divorce, and then the 4th book was actually a group project. If you guys have gone through her middle school literature circles before, it was formatted similar to that, in that they had 4 books they could choose from. They ranked which ones were their top choices, and then Miss Mindy divides them into groups based on their top choice. They read through through one of those books and discuss it and then work on that group project that I mentioned earlier. So for this one, my boys actually read through The Magician's Nephew. This was a book that they had read through previously, but getting to discuss it and dive deep into it really opened their eyes to a lot of the themes and theological things that they had never seen before. Now, the American Lit class, like I mentioned, is brand new and coming out this fall. For the American Lit class, they are going to be covering several different books. It's going to be a little heavier on the reading. In quarter one, they're going to be reading one of 4 different books. In quarter two, they're going to be reading The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and an adapted version of that, and they're going to be reading the full version of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. In quarter three, they're going to do To Kill a Mockingbird, and in quarter four, they're going to do Fahrenheit 451. Now, registration only opens for a small window of time, so be sure to click the link down below so that you don't miss out on that registration window. But for American Lit, there are, again, 4 8-week sections. You're going to have 4 projects, and it's going to be a similar format as far as the once-a-week life classes and the additional homework. It is going to have a group project involved, possibly 2, but at least one group project will be involved in this process. It's going to cover topics like freedom, truth, justice, and culture. So I'm really excited to have my boys dive into that class, and then my daughter will be taking the C.S. Lewis class because she's just coming into high school this next year. When it comes to the American Lit and the C.S. Lewis class, while the C.S. Lewis class was the first one introduced, and then the American Lit is being introduced next year, they do not necessarily build on each other, meaning that your child can take them in whichever order you choose, and both of these work for all ages of high school, so you can have your children grouped together if you desire. What really sets this literature class apart is that they dive deep into the different topics and don't go as broad as many other curriculums do. My kids are still getting a broad literature exposure through the other reading they're doing alongside their history and other subjects that we're working on like Bible, but they're getting to go really deep and discuss and look at the different themes and the literary elements of each of these books. My boys have grown a lot this year in their knowledge and understanding of literary things, as well as the theological implications of many of these C.S. Lewis books, and it has led to a lot of great discussions in our home. This is actually one of my son's top ranked classes for the entire year, and he was excited to see that she was releasing a new one for next year so that he wouldn't have to miss out. It's also flexible but structured. Yes, you have your one live class that you are attending every single week, but the rest of the work can be divided and done however you want throughout the week. So I have some kids that do it a couple of days a week and they do a heavier load on those days. Other ones who do just a little bit of work each and every day to maintain what they need to have done before the live class. And I love the fact that it offers that flexibility, especially for a family that needs it so much. So if you're looking for a high school literature program that is deep and doable and rooted in truth, you definitely should go check out Redefining School. If you don't have high schoolers yet, or you also have middle schoolers, be sure to check out this video here where I share with you guys all the different things that Miss Mindy offers for both high school and middle school. And don't forget to register for our classes as the window for registration is closing soon. I don't want you to miss out.